This
enterprise structure
conference will
definition.
now be recorded.
We have finished discussing about enterprise structure definition and assignment. Today we'll discuss about master data. So the first master data we'll be discussing today is customer master. So there are a couple of master data, right? So customer master, material master, and CMIR, price master. So there are various master data. First we'll start with customer master, and let's see. So customer master will take at least 3 sessions for us to finish. So first, what is master data? So what is master data? Master data is something which is created once, stored centrally, and used in day-to-day activities. Okay. Create once, store centrally, and use in the day-to-day activities, just like our bank data. So you want to open a bank account, you go to the bank, and only for the first time you submit all your documents, and later on bank will identify you with a account number, right? So you don't need to submit documents every time. It's only for the one time you submit all your documents and everything, and later you are referred by an account number, right? So that is master data, and wherever that particular bank branch is available, you can just do your business over there, right? So that is master data. We create once, store centrally, and use it in the day-to-day activities. So in the SAP also there are various master data. There are separate master data modules in SAP, like there is MDG, master data governance, MDM, master data management. There are various modules because, as you know, today every business runs on data, and data also comes from various sources, right? Data comes from like the social media, data comes from customer feedback, so data comes from various inputs. So this all data, and our data is structured, unstructured, organized, unorganized, right? So all the data has to be processed, cleansed, and make it ready for the business use. So this all is very advanced, which is done by the MDM or MDG team. But the basic master data, what we have in the SD module is there are 4 master data. One is customer master, and the other one is material master, which is all about the material, weight, volume, and everything related to the material. Then we have CMIR, with this customer and material combination master data. And the last one is condition master or price master, because see, price of a material or a tax, they don't change every day, right? So even price also we consider it as a master data. First, let's talk about customer master. And who will create master data in the business? End users will create master data in the business. As a consultant, will not have any role in the master data maintenance. Any role in the sense creation of master data. Okay, so who will create master data in the real time? That will be done by end users. But as a consultant, why we are learning how to create master data? The reason is, as a consultant, we need to know everything. We need to know 360 degrees. That is, you need to know front and back and everything. But for a user, if they know what is master data and how to create master data, that is enough for them. They don't need to know everything. But for a end custom consultant, you need to know everything. You need to make your customer understand what is master data, what fields are available in the screens, what is their functionality, how they work, everything you need to make them understand. So as a consultant, you should know everything. That's the reason as a consultant, even we are trying to learn about master data. So customer master is an integration between SD and FI module. Customer master is an integration between SD and FI module. So customer master is classified into 3 screens. Customer master is classified into 3 screens, like general data, company code data, and sales area data. See how tricky the questions can be in the interview. In the interview, they asked a question, what data we find in the customer master? Okay, what data we find in the customer master? If I ask a question like, what are the three screens in customer master? Everyone knows that, like general data, company code data, sales area data. But the question asked in the interview is, what data we find? So it's the same. This is the same general data, company code data, sales area data. This is the same data we find it here. Okay. But you see how tricky the questions could be in the interview. Majority times in the interviews, we know the answer. Only thing is you need to understand the questions. Majority times you will be knowing answers. But that questions might be little tricky, twisted, and they have come with something, right? So as we discussed that this is the integration between SD and FI. General data is for everyone, like it is SD, FI, everything you could see here. But company code data is only for FI, and sales area data is for SD. But general data is of both. So the creation of this master data in the real time, this access we don't give it to every user. You may have 10,000 users in the business, but we don't give this access to every user. We give, because as you know, for any business, what is most important today? Data, right? That is the most important. So you cannot expose this data to everyone in the business. So this access would be given to very few people. They're called as master data specialists, maybe one or two people. And only these people would be able to access the master data and creation of master data, right? So how do we create master data, the customer master? We create it with centrally, that means SDFI everything, then it is centrally. These are the T codes, create, change, and display. And if you want to see only the FI part, then these are the FI part. And if you want to see only the sales related, then this is the transactions. Usually it will be created centrally. But whatever we are discussing today, customer master, it is everything existing in the S4 HANA, but the way we create it is different. In the S4 HANA, this transaction is absolute. Those who has attended S4 HANA session, you might be knowing already we have discussed business partner. So today you will connect with business partner. So in S4 HANA, this is completely absolute. There is no XD01 transaction. You cannot create a customer in S4 HANA. In S4 HANA, you can only create a business partner and you can extend your customer to business partner to a customer. Okay, but you cannot create a customer. So whatever we are discussing today, they are still existing in S4 HANA, but the way we create it is little different. We don't do this way, right? So let's see how this customer master is created in the SAP system. So creation of customer master, XD01, XD01, and if you want to create a customer, the first you need to select here is called as account group. Okay, there's something here called as account group. So what is account group? Why you need to select account group? And under the account group, we see various partner functions. So these terminologies might be little new for you, but doesn't matter. It will be pretty easy for you to understand, right? So in SAP, there is something called as partner functions. That means in SAP, you take any partner, that means any stakeholder in the business, we call them as partners. Customer is a partner, competitor is a partner, vendor is a partner, bank is a partner, court is a partner, lender is a partner, anything it is. Plant is also a partner. Even plant, we treat it as a partner. Anything in the business, all the stakeholders are called as partners, right? Under that, we also have something called as customer master, right? Customer is also a partner. So customer is classified into four. Okay, customer is classified into four partners. That is sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, and payer. So a customer is classified into sold to party, shipped to party, bill to party, payer. Sold Sold to party is the prime customer. That means that is the main customer which we create, right? And sold to party means who can place an order, who has an authorization to place an order, and that's the main customer. But a sold to party can also behave as ship to party. That means a sold to party can place an order, that is authorization, and sold to party can receive the materials, that is at that time we call it as ship to party, and bill to party, to whom we send the bill, and payer, to whom we send the sorry, to like who will be paying the money, they're called as payer. That means sold to party will be unique, only one, because we can have only one Apollo hospital. There can be any number of branches, but there will be only one Apollo hospital, or there can be only one TCS. They can have 100 branches. You take ICICI Bank, there will be only one ICICI Bank, but they can have 1,000 branches. The one ICICI Bank or the one Apollo hospitals, that is sold to party. But the branches they have, right, there can be different basing upon their partner profile. Okay, if they receive the goods, they are only to receive the goods, then they are ship to party. If they are allowed to receive the bills, then bill to party, and they are allowed to pay the bills, then called as bill payer. But sold to party is only one. So whenever we are creating a customer, we need to tell system what customer you are trying to create, whether you are trying to create a sold to party, or a ship to party, or a bill to party, or a payer. How do you tell that to the system? How does system know that? That is through account groups. Through account groups, you will be knowing that. So in this system, someone has deleted the standards. Let me get that standards back. Let me put a word with that server guy, and let me get that standards back. So someone has deleted. If not, so sold to party is identified with 0001, ship to party 0002, bill to party, sorry, payer 0003, and ship to sorry, bill to party is 0004. Those are the 4-digit codes with which we identify the partners. Account group. So first, why we need to select account group? Because let me just try to create one customer. Standards are missing in this system. Let me check. Or this weekend, let me. I put a word and ask him to refresh the server. But for now, I'll select something and let me create this good data first. You see, now I'm trying to create a customer. By default, whenever you are into the customer master, you will be always in the general data. You can switch between the company code data and sales area data. And you see here, there are lots of fields, right? And you see these two fields, these are mandatory fields. That means if I press enter now without entering any data, system will take me to the mandatory field and it will stop us until we enter this. Maybe if I enter this, again, this is the next mandatory. You see this, the checkbox within the field, system will take to that and it will stop us. You cannot proceed further until we fix the error messages. So there will be 3 kinds of messages whenever you are doing a transaction. There will be success message, which will show in green, and there will be a warning message, which will show in yellow triangle, and there is a red, that is an error. If it is a warning, you can press enter, ignore, and proceed. But if it is a if it is a error, you cannot proceed until you fix that error. Okay, until you fix that error, you cannot proceed. Okay, so how do system know? Or in my business, let's say we don't want region to be a mandatory field. Why would I need region as a mandatory field? Maybe country I want it to mandatory. Or in my business, I want maybe street number is a mandatory, or a postal code is a mandatory. So how do I control that? So these all fields, whatever you see here, these all are controlled by account groups. That is the reason first when you're trying to create a customer, we should select account group. So how do we access the account groups? We access account groups through a T code called as OVT0. OVT0. And there are various account groups here. So I'll just select some random here because standards are missing. And you go to the detail screen. You see this detail screen, and you could see here field status, general data, company code data, sales area data. So in the customer master, what all we have seen? We have seen these all tabs, right? In the general data. So if I go to the general data here, you see all the 7 tabs you will see here. And if I go to the address tab, this is the address tab, right? And here, if I go to the address tab, you see all these things. And here, okay, we have selected a different account group, and this is a different account group. But you could see here, suppress, required, display. So this is the backend for customer master. From here, you can control customer master. What fields should be there, what fields not should be there. Okay, just a moment. Let us open the same account group. What is this account group we selected? Z001. Okay, let me go to the Z001. Okay, Z01. I'll go this and the general data, address. You see here, region is marked as required entry. That means mandatory, right? It is marked as required and mandatory. I don't want it to be. I want to suppress the region itself. So I'll put suppress, say OK, save it, and come back to the customer master screen. Let me again run this transaction XZ01 and Z001. Now you see there is no region field here, right? So as a consultant, what is our work here? This is what our work. So we try to make the customer understand what all the fields we have here and what customer require and what customer don't want it. If customer don't want it, we go back and we suppress them. If customer want it to be a mandatory field, then we make it mandatory, right? So everything we do. So now what is account group? What is account group? Account group controls field status of customer master. Okay, what is account group? Account group controls field status of customer master. That is only one. Account group controls various things, but account group at the first point, what account group controls? Account group controls field status of customer master. So you can suppress it, you can hide, you can make it mandatory, anything you can do with these fields. So our job is to make customer understand what all these fields is and whether they want it to be or they want to remove. This all things we do, right? That's the first thing. How do we access account groups? Anyone? What is the T code to access account groups? What is the T code to access account group?
OVT0.
OVT0, right? So in interview, sometimes they may ask a question. /n OBD2. OBD2. What is this? OBD2 account group. Z001. You see? Z001. You see? So in interviews, they may ask you this question. What is the difference between OBT0 and OBD2? Both are same, right? Both are account groups. You find any difference, anyone? Did you find any difference? So what is the major difference is, if I go to OVT, you just observe this area, okay? Here, you observe this area. And if I go back to OVT0, you see this? Sales and distribution data. OVT0 is for SD2 access. OBD2 is for FI. Okay, because it's an integration, right, between SD and FI. So OBD2 is for FI to access the account groups, and OVT0 is for SD. And you could see here, this is sales and distribution data, right? So let me come back to this custom creation screen. Address. So in this we'll have, I'll do one thing. I'll just, okay, even the standards are not working, I guess. Okay, let's proceed here itself then. So this is the first screen. You know, these are self-explanatory data, everything, all the standard fields. These are all the standard fields. Nothing in control data and nothing in payment transactions because they are FI. Control data and payment transactions that will be maintained by FI. And in one interview, I hope I have showed you the questions. They asked a question that is, Can a customer also be a vendor in a business? Anyone? Is it possible? Can a customer also be a vendor? It's possible. Okay. They can sell some other material, right, to the business. Okay. So it's possible. A customer can also be a vendor in the business. This question was asked in the recent interview. If a customer is a vendor, you go to the control data and you can assign the number here. Vendor master will be maintained by MM. Okay. The vendor master will be maintained by MM. That is a MMFI integration. Vendor master is MMFI integration. And if your customer is also a vendor, then you bring that customer number and assign it here. Vendor master, we create it with the transaction code called as XK01. XK01, but FI will do this anyway, vendor master, right? If your customer is also a vendor, yes, it's possible to create a customer to vendor. And if a customer is also a vendor, then you can assign that particular vendor name here in the next screen, right? So the next is marketing tab. In the marketing, Nelson ID. So what is Nelson ID? Nelson is an organization, as you might be knowing, that's like a KPMG or Deloitte kind of organization. So Nelson they do surveys, they do quantitative surveys for businesses. Let's say if my business is launching a new product, before even launching the product, I want feedback from the market, how they will receive this particular product, what features the customers are expecting. How would I know that data? Or else we already launched a material into the business, and now we want to know how the product is performing in the industry, like what all customers expecting the more. Okay, how this product is performing. I want to know more about that so that we could add more features as per the client requirements. How do we know that? Right. So how do we know that? That is through some company has to do. Some company has to do. Yeah. So some company has to summarize all this data and provide it, right? So how it will happen? That is through Nelson. You take any organization, not only Nelson, it could be any organization with which you tie up so that they can provide you all this particular data. Right? Users can only create data, right? Sorry, users can only maintain data. Users cannot create the data. Okay? Users cannot create the data. They can only maintain the data. Let's say if I'm launching a new product in the region of maybe Karnataka and Kerala, that is one region. New York and New Jersey, that is one region. We are launching a new product. So what the user will do, if this customer, whatever the customer we are creating, if this customer belonging to this region, because see, if I'm launching product in these two states like Karnataka and Kerala, I want that the customers in that region. I want to take that sample data and give it to some Nelson or any organization, so they can go to our customers and take the feedback, summarize the data, and they can give a report, right? So how do you know, like this customer in that region? That we will be knowing through Nelson ID. So whatever the data we maintain in these screens, that is applicable for only this customer. If this customer is X, this all data is applicable only for this X customer. Okay. If again I open a Y customer, then all the data is applicable only for that Y customer. Whatever the data we maintain here. Let's assume that this customer is in the region of Karnataka. So do we have any values here for Karnataka? I will create it. You see, anything new. User can only choose like this. User can only maintain the data. User cannot create new. New consultants. Where do consultants work? Anyone? In which screen consultants work? How do we access?
SPRO.
SPRO IMG. Okay. SPRO IMG. And this time we are already done with the enterprise structure, right? So from today, whatever the configuration we'll be doing on our area of interest, that is sales and distribution. SPRO, sales and distribution. And master data, under this, we have business partner, under this customers, under this, what tab we are discussing now? That is marketing tab, right? So whatever you want to maintain in the marketing tab, it can be industry, it could be legal status, anything you will see here under this particular menu path, marketing tab. And here you could see industry, Nelson, legal status, everything you can maintain. So now we are talking about Nelson ID, right? So go to the IMG activity, and whatever the values we have seen in the customer master, you also see it here, right? But the Karnataka and Kerala region is missing. So what I'll do, I'll go to new entries and I'll give some value, maybe X1, and I'll say it as Karnataka, Kerala. Right? Karnataka and Kerala. Save it. And you go back to the customer master and check here. Now you see X1, whatever we just created. So only consultants can create something new. Okay, users can only maintain the data. Users cannot create anything new. They can only maintain the data. They can select it, or they can press F4 and select some value. That's it. But they cannot create anything new. Then next is customer classification. We group customers. We divide customers for various reasons. When you go to an airport, like what is first class and what is economy? Why they are differentiating? Anyone? What do first class customers get?
Luxury.
More
Priority
luxury, more
check.
features, right? More priorities. You go to a bank. In a bank, there will be a priority customer launch, right? Why we are classifying customers like that? Because you can give better service to them, right? Better price, better discount. It will help you to generate reports basing on that, right? So for various reasons in the business, we sometimes group the customers, sometimes we classify the customers. Why? To offer better price, better discount, better service, or for reporting purpose, we do that. So here we are classifying customers, and we classify customers on various parameters. This parameter, customer classification, this particular, how do on what parameter we are classifying this? That is on the parameter of what turnover this customer is going to give us to the business. See, this is a new customer we are creating today, right? Create customer. This is a new customer we are creating. So on what that means what turnover this customer can give us, right, per annum, what turnover this customer can give us. Basing on that, we are classifying the customers and grouping them. Maybe this customer, like there are various groupings here, you could see up to 0.5 million or 0.5 to 1.5 million or 1.5 to 2 million, like this. This customer, this particular customer, what you are trying to create now, comes under which category? Maybe they can give 500,000, so I'll put this, right? So customer classification we are doing basing on what parameter, that is what turnover this customer is going to give us per annum. Industry, what industry this customer belongs to. There are various industries already SAP has provided. If not, you could create from the SPRO path. And sub-industry, if any industry, if you have any sub-industry, you could maintain it here. And all the standard data of this customer, what is the annual sales of this customer, in the year, maybe in the last 2021, what is the annual data of this customer, sales of the customer, how many employees the customer has in 2021, or else fiscal year variant. Okay, fiscal year variant. Fiscal year variant means financial year. If you remember, we also seen this fiscal year variant at the time of company code. So company code has, our business will have a fiscal year variant, and the customer also will have a fiscal year variant. Fiscal year variant is nothing but financial calendar. What financial year you are following? If it is in India, what is all financial year? Anyone? Indian financial year?
April 1st to March 31st.
April to March.
April 1st to March 31st. If it's in US, it is from January 1st to December 31st with 4 quarters. In India also, it is April 1st to March 31st with 4 quarters, right? So basing upon which financial year this customer is following, K4. K4, calendar year, 4 special periods. This is for US, January 1st to December 31st. V3, April to March, 4 special periods. This is for India, right? So which financial year, fiscal year they are following, we would be maintaining that value this customer belongs to. Legal status of this customer, whether public limited, private limited, LLC, PLC, whatever it could be, right? So this is the data we have here in the marketing tab. The next is unloading points. Important tab, unloading point. What is calendar? Anyone? Calendar will tell us what is the working days and what's the holidays, right? We have discussed, right? Earlier calendar, that is whatever we have discussed, that is factory calendar, right? We also have customer calendar, because see, we also should know what is the working days and holidays of customer. It's not only the factory calendar, because if customer is asking to do a delivery in 2 days and we have initiated delivery on Friday, okay, we initiated delivery on Friday, but customer don't work on Saturday and Sunday. How do we know that? So that we could do a delivery on Monday. So that is customer calendar. We should also know what is the working days and holidays of the customer. And in a city, customer may have multiple unloading points. X is one unloading point, Y is unloading point, Z is another unloading point. In one city, customer can have various unloading points where actually the goods are dumped, right? And for every unloading point, there will be a different calendar. At least if it's not a calendar, if it can be a goods receiving hours, this is very important, goods receiving hours. That is, let's say unloading point X is in the outskirts of the city, So there is no traffic restrictions. Truck can go anytime in a day. But unloading point Y is in the middle of the city. Middle of the city, trucks are not allowed in the daytime, right? You need to schedule delivery only after 9 p.m., right? So basing upon the unloading point, your goods receiving hours also will change. Or if customer itself may come with a scenario saying that in my X unloading point, we will receive goods only on Saturday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only 2 hours we'll receive the goods on Saturday. When customer very clearly says that we'll receive the goods only on Saturday evening 9 p.m., what is the purpose we schedule a delivery on Saturday morning 6 o'clock? If your truck is going and sitting there at morning 6 o'clock, is there any purpose, anyone? You are almost wasting more than 12 hours time, right? Your resources are being wasted. More than 12 hours you are just sitting idle over there, correct? So you need to schedule the delivery as per customer's time. So here we create calendar. So customer calendar, how do we create it? You can either go through menu part, but now it is not under the marketing tab. Customer calendar will be under shipping. So go to shipping and customer calendar. Or you could also access this with a T code called as OVR3. Customer calendar, you could see here, OVR3. This is just look like a factory calendar. Everything says factory calendar, but this is customer calendar. Okay, you know how to create a calendar, so we'll skip this step. And okay, we'll assign calendar here. Maybe let's say X1 is our calendar. Goods receiving hours. This is very important. Okay, we have not assigned a goods receiving hours here, but this is very important. Where do we create goods receiving hours? That means specifically we are telling what time we will receive the goods. Here, You see, we first create a calendar, then we create goods receiving hours and we assign it to the calendar. Goods receiving hours, maybe you can create new. You can tell here system on Saturday, maybe 21 hours. You could select here to 23 hours, right? So specifically, you can mention from what time to what time, including seconds, you can mention here, right? So when the customer want to receive the goods, we could very clearly mention here. Right? We could very specifically mention what time the customer will be receiving. So goods receiving, it's a value. Maybe X1 is my goods receiving hours. What I'll do is I'll take this goods receiving hours and assign to the plan. That means to the calendar. Sorry. This goods receiving hours, we will assign it to calendar here. Goods receiving. So if we maintain a calendar here, let's check what calendar we have. Okay, I'll go with the standard one. And yeah, we don't have this data. Let me remove. You see here, whatever the goods receiving hours you create, we will assign it here. So that system knows for this particular unloading point, you see, these are the timings. Right? So now you go here, system knows that what is the goods receiving hours weekdays and weekdays from what time to what time. Right? So this is goods receiving hours. Out of this particular general data, only this is important. Nothing, these all are self-explanatory, not so important. The other fields, these all are not so important. But goods receiving hours, this unloading point, factory customer calendar, and goods receiving hours. These two are important. The next, nothing in export data or contact person is again self-explanatory because we are discussing about a business. When I already told you, right? When I say customer, it is a company. Okay, it's company. But to whom you negotiate, with whom you negotiate your quotations or contracts, right? So there should be some face of the company, right? So who is the face of the company? Purchasing department, account department, sales department, HR department. So the contact person's details, we maintain it here. Okay. So this is about the general data. Right? So we'll stop it here today and continue on Monday because you need to get little used to the screens and fields and everything. Then we'll discuss company code data and sales area data on one session. And there's one more concept called as PDP, Partner Determination Procedure. That we'll discuss on the next session. So with these 3 sessions, we can complete customer master. Yeah. Any questions, please go ahead.
Customer master integration between
SD and FI module.
okay.
Practice this, get used to the system. Initially, it will take a little time to get used. You need to speed up, like how you access between the screens. You need to little speed up. Well, that comes by practice, just practice. Yeah. Any questions? Go ahead.
Yesterday's uploaded video, you have given that actually number ranges. So
Oh,
you are
sorry.
going things again.
That's the next session then. Okay, we'll cover in the next session that one. Any other questions, anyone? And tomorrow we'll not have a HANA session. So who is attending from this batch? We'll catch back on Sunday. Sunday we'll have a HANA session, class 5, right? Yeah, class 5 we'll have on Sunday. So Saturday morning, tomorrow we're not having a session for HANA.
Can you upload that last 2 sessions?
Yes, yes, I'll upload Venkat. So excuse me for 1 or 2 days. I'm a little occupied with some things in
Okay.
between.
Share the previous
Just
video.
excuse me for these 2 days. I'll upload.
Thanks.
Little occupied with something. So just excuse me for 2 days. From Monday again, I'll be available. Any error or anything, you just text it me on WhatsApp. Whenever I get time, I'll reply back to you. Yeah. Any questions, please go ahead. We'll call it a day today and catch up on Monday.
Yes.
And Monday, we'll discuss about the same customer master. Next week, we'll finish all the master data. Customer master, another 2 sessions. Middle master, 2 sessions. 4 sessions. So yeah, we could finish master data and we can move on to
Sir, any
transactions.
PPT,
What is that?
sir, any PPT is there to one by one, step by step to create
Study
for what we
material.
are discussing? Yeah.
Study material. Study material has
Mm.
every step by step.
Oh, in that is there.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everything is study material itself is the document you have to refer. You don't need anything else until I tell you to refer any other document.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So what is the difference between normal customer and vendor?
Customer is to whom you sell the goods. Vendor is you are a customer to another business. Right?
And
Vendor means supplier.
what,
Vendor means supplier.
okay, sir. What data will be maintained in export data?
Exporter now we don't have that anyway. We'll ignore that.
So that,
Yeah. So there will be many fields even we'll be ignoring. So if I ignore some field, you could also leave it. Okay. So because it's not possible for you to know every field, and we may not be using for a lifetime these fields. Okay. Whatever we need, 99% we will be covering. If I leave or if I like don't cover something, it might be if it is important, it might be again coming in another topic somewhere so that I have lived here. If not, you will not be using this. Okay. So don't worry about certain things which I leave.
Praveen, this plant, shall I assign to sales organization? Which sales organization code and company code is different?
Your question is not clear. Can you repeat again?
Can I assign a plan to sales organization, but the sales organization and company codes are different?
Not possible, right? Because all the three objects what you mentioned, company code, plant, and sales are physical,
Yes.
right? Let's say if the company code is India and your sales organization is India, your plant is Sri Lanka. Can it be possible like that? If the goods damaged in Sri Lanka plant, will you show in Indian goods? Not possible, right? So it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Not possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
so by this knowledge, we will be able to work on implementation or rollout or support projects.
Anything is the same. There is no separate knowledge for implementation or support or something. If it is implementation, you will have a SAP methodology. That's only the extra thing if it is implementation project. If not, whatever we are discussing, it is throughout SAP SD, whether it is support, if it's implementation, it's upgradation, doesn't matter. Same knowledge.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So let's call it a day today and catch up tomorrow. Sorry, on Monday. And Monday we'll continue with the same customer master. As mentioned, we'll not have a session. I'll also send you an email. We'll not have a session tomorrow for S4HANA. We'll catch up on Sunday morning. Good day, everyone. Catch up on Sunday. Bye-bye.